Spider.
Good morning and welcome to the Indy Boomer Show. I'm Mary Pat McKee. I publish a magazine called Indy Boomer, which we will be talking about in just a moment. But this morning I am sitting here with Aaron Adams.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. And you are with Aaron's Mobility Solutions, which is, they are a new advertiser with us in Indy Boomer, and I am really excited to talk to you about this. I think there's some good connections and information for boomers and their parents as well. But before we get started, wanted to let everybody know that as you see on the screen is the January, I had to think for a minute, I'm working on March. That is the January issue of Indy Boomer. That's Bob and Tom on the cover, and you can pick that up at any, I should say most Kroger and Marsh stores in Indy and the surrounding counties. Also, we always want to thank Jim Wofford Theater, and Logan Street Signs and Banners for allowing us to have this show, as we are very grateful for that. So let's jump in about Adams Mobility. You guys are up in Kokomo.
We are. We are located at 1400 East Boulevard.
Okay.
So obviously from here, you're going to take 31 north. Two ways you can get to us. Obviously, if you head towards South Bend and stay on the new 31, take exit 161, that's Boulevard.
Okay.
You're going to cross 931, which is the old 31. I'm trying to confuse everybody out there. So you're going to cross 931. We're going to be on the right-hand side. We're located in the old Wheezy Oldsmobile. If people are familiar with Kokomo from years past, across from Chrysler Transmission.
Okay.
Or obviously you can stay on 931, which is to downtown Kokomo.
Okay.
Hang a left right there on Boulevard. I'm located right inside the showroom of Adams Auto Group.
Okay, and you know the phone number's on the screen right now, as well as your website. Is that website? Yeah, as well as the website. So address and all that kind of stuff is there. How long have you guys been doing this mobility?
The mobility side actually started in March of 2014.
Okay.
Real quick background, my degree is in athletic training.
Okay.
I got my degree from Indiana Wesleyan University, was an athletic trainer at a chiropractic facility in South Bend.
Okay.
Healthcare things have changed, obviously. My dad and I started speaking in the fall of 2013 about trying to bring something different to Kokomo and kind of central Indiana.
Did your dad and you not speak before then?
No, we did. We did. But it's kind of one of those things where as the talks progressed, we got a little bit more serious about things.
Okay, that makes sense.
And there's a big need in central Indiana for mobility. So we kind of, since he was a car lot and always has been, kind of always will be, we started with the cars. So we wanted to bring handicap accessible vehicles to Kokomo.
Okay, like vans and things like that?
Handicap accessible vans and things like that. So then from there, what we decided to do was, if we're going to do this, let's jump in completely. And so now we do lift chairs and power chairs and scooters. And so anything kind of handicap accessible, for the most part, we can do. Okay. Difference being, we don't do conversions.
Meaning you don't
we don't take a vehicle and put a ramp in it. Okay. We can put a lift, which is completely different, and we can kind of get to that. But a lift is more or less the person can get off their power chair or scooter and walk to the vehicle. Okay. Whereas a fully converted vehicle has the built-in ramp where you cannot get out of that power chair or scooter. So we don't do that. We sell those if we have them available, but we don't do the full-out conversion of that.
I understand. I would think that would be hard to find somebody who would.
It is. Yeah. And there are some people in the area that do it. Obviously, you have to be very skilled.
But why wouldn't you just buy a new one?
Well,
for the amount it would probably cost.
But the problem a lot of times is the price.
Okay.
And more times than not, when you see people that have the need, they don't have the bank account to go with it. Right. Because they've had years upon years of medical hardship and things like that. Yeah. And so going back and looking kind of at purchasing a vehicle, if you've had a bankruptcy or something along those lines because of medical bills, all the loan or the leasing person sees is bankruptcy. Right. So you're behind the eight ball. Exactly. So there, we try to work with the area agencies around the state of Indiana, like Area 5 is in Howard County, the surrounding areas.
With the Central Indiana Council on Aging? Okay.
Yeah. So we work with them, obviously with the Medicaid waiver.
Okay. I wanted to talk about that too.
Yeah, and obviously that will help get people funding if they qualify for it. So I always tell people, call, information is always free. Yep. And sometimes I probably speak too much, as I probably am doing right now with you.
No, you're not.
But at any rate, information is power.
Yes,
and the more information you can give somebody, the more likely they are to come back and do business with you. And that's what I try to convey to all my customers, is I'm actually here for your benefit.
Right. Well, what we find, or I have found in different industries that boomers are associated with, such as finance or even housing and that kind of thing, and even this scenario, it's not so much asking the questions, asking the right questions.
Right.
and knowing what questions to ask. So if somebody, because mobility is really huge.
It is.
You know, people get depressed and aren't able to do what they want to do because they have no mobility.
Right. Exactly.
So this is where you come into play. So I think it's very important. And I know, I mean, it's not just baby boomers, it's also their parents that are facing these situations. If somebody is in that scenario, what kind of questions would you suggest that they ask to find out?
Well, what I always try to ask them first is are they paying for it outright? You know, are they looking for some sort of insurance help or state help?
Okay.
We can only deal with Medicaid.
Okay.
So let's say you have Anthem, Blue Cross, and Blue Shield.
Right.
What I'm going to tell you is what you need to do first and foremost is you need to call your insurance provider and see what, if anything, they'll cover.
Right.
And with insurance changes that have come, it's gotten more and more stringent and more gray.
Okay.
So your best piece of information is basically
to try them first.
Yeah, try them first and see what they'll cover.
Okay.
From there, you'll have to get a doctor's script.
Okay.
They have to, if insurance is going to pay for it or somebody besides you is going to pay for it, you got to prove why it is you need whatever it is that you need.
I would think if you need it, the doctor, that's not a problem.
For the most part, the doctor's not a problem.
Okay.
The problem then lies with the insurance, and that's a whole
As it
other
always
sticky
does.
subject.
Yeah.
So, but basically, I'll ask you, okay, what are you looking for? You know, do you need this for outdoors? Do you need this for indoors? Do you need this for both?
That's good.
You know, a lot of people, it's not so much they can't walk. It's just that long distances, they can't do it. You know, they enjoy going out and going to car shows or going to parks and things like that.
Congestive heart failure or
right. They can walk from here to the end of the theater and things along those lines into their cars and no problems. But when they get to a weekend and there's a festival going on downtown Noblesville, things like that, they can't walk around the square.
Right.
It becomes too much. So you need more of a portable scooter, something you can take apart, put in the back of your vehicle.
Right.
When you get to wherever it is you're going, put it together, ride it around. You keep your mobility.
Right.
Basically is what's going on. And a lot of people have a hard time swallowing the fact that I need aid.
I could see that. Yep.
You know, I'd much rather push this walker and struggle than be comfortable and last longer on a scooter. Which, hey, you know, I understand completely. I really do. But there are times when that mobility aid really does benefit your life.
Right. And you know, with all the ADA laws now in effect and how cities and towns are really coming together to have the sidewalks, to have the ramps, to have the things, that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And they're really working towards getting better parking situations and things like that. It's slow, obviously, but nothing in legislature is fast ever.
Right.
But they are really trying to make things more handicap accessible.
Right, and I think that's really important. So if somebody comes to you and they are needing a scooter, can those fit in the car?
Some can, yes.
Okay.
They make portable scooters.
Okay.
And I sell a couple different product ranges, but basically in our showroom, I have 8 to 10 different size scooters.
Okay.
And what I always try to do is, like I said, I'll kind of assess you.
Right.
And I know that sounds kind of bad, but I'm trying to assess you as you and I are talking.
Yeah.
Because obviously, I don't want to sell you the most expensive thing on our showroom if it doesn't benefit you.
Right.
I'd rather sell you the cheapest one that's going to work best for you than the most expensive one that works best for me.
Right. Well, I'll tell you a secret. That's the way to do it. To be consultative and help people, because you know it'll come back to you if it's the wrong thing anyway.
Exactly. So. But no, they make scooters that you can actually take apart in 4 or 5 different pieces, put in the back of your trunk of a car, sedan, whatever, or they make them big enough to where you have to have a lift and things along those lines. So it's all in what you need.
Okay. I'll tell you what. I want to talk more about that when we come back. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes. Thanks.
You know, when Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage. Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
Look at that.
We are back in the Wofford Theater. We are on. What a beautiful theater we're sitting in today.
It's amazing how big this place is.
It is amazing. It is. We could fit a few scooters in here, couldn't we?
We could do that.
I'm Mary Pat McKee. I'm with Indy Boomer Magazine. I'm sitting here with Aaron Adams, who is with Adams Mobility Solutions, correct?
That is correct.
And we're having great conversation talking about scooters and some of the different things and services that they offer. You guys, you're up in Kokomo.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
And we're not going to talk about where. You just go to their website. And you get the
exactly.
address.
I'll confuse you that way.
Yeah,
so
and let's use Google Maps on that one. But it's basically downtown Kokomo.
Pretty much. Well, it's on the north south side of Kokomo, not before you get downtown. If you get there, you've gone a little too far.
Okay, that's true. Okay, I know where you're thinking. But anyway, let's go back. So we talk about products you have.
Mm-hmm.
One given that most people would assume is the scooters.
Correct.
Okay, and those are cool. I kind of almost can't wait till I get old enough and need one because I think they're very cool. Tell us about all these other products you have to offer folks.
Well, obviously the scooters and the power chairs are what most people associate with mobility.
Okay.
Obviously with mobility, you get in the house, you need lift chairs, which is basically a recliner, but it's got a lifting mechanism so that if you have trouble standing up, it kind of pushes you out of the chair.
Okay. Yeah.
And a lot of people think, oh Lord, it's going to throw me out of the chair. Well, that's not really going to happen.
Right.
But then also what we've started to really get into is bathroom remodels. We can also do kitchens and things like that, but most of the time what we see a lot in the construction side of our business is either a bathroom remodel, basically making mom or dad, grandma and grandpa's bathroom accessible to them so they can stay in their home longer, or putting a ramp on the outside of the home for said scooter or power chair or wheelchair so they can have the ease of access to their home.
Sure.
Obviously, one of the biggest reasons why somebody may have to get out of their home is because if they are handicapped in a way that they can't easily get out of the house, God forbid there be a fire, and they can't get out, the state can come in and pretty much tell them they got to get out.
Right.
So that's where we do a lot of ramps and things.
Well, do you widen the doors? Because I know you do.
Yes.
Okay. And then I'm guessing in the showers you're doing the walk-in.
Doing walk-in showers.
Okay.
We can obviously do ADA compliant toilets, a lot of grab bars, things like that, to where in the shower at the toilet you could have aids in getting up, widening the doors to allow a scooter, a power chair, whatever to get in, things along those lines. Handicap accessible shower. I'm losing my train of thought. Wands.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Up and down.
Yeah.
Just trying to really make it so that you in the chair can use the shower. Like
so you could roll right in your chair.
Right, and you can do it. Or if you can't, then obviously your aid. Or whoever's with you has all that access to.
Well, and a lot of folks have people that come in and help them once a week, or not hopefully more than once a week with a shower. Hopefully a couple times a week with a shower.
You never know, but we'll leave that up to everybody else there. So.
Exactly. But that's one thing that that is really hard for people that end up in a wheelchair is that the doors are all usually 30-inch, and so you're able
Most
to.
of the time we go 34 to 36, depending on what type of aid they're in, whether it be a manual wheelchair that's extra wide or a standard size, or a power wheelchair that's extra wide, things along those lines.
Do people, I only ask this because I just don't know, do people use a scooter like inside their house instead of a wheelchair?
Yeah, typically if they can't, they don't have the physical strength to manually push themselves in a wheelchair, they will use a scooter or a power chair. More times than not, more times not in the home you'll use a power wheelchair. And those are the ones, with a little joystick on the side that have the zero turn. You'll see people use scooters, and typically when I talked to you for like in the last segment about what type of scooter do you need, if you want to be inside, then you want a 3-wheel scooter because the turning radius is a little bit tighter.
Okay.
You can use a 4-wheel scooter, depends on how big your home is. But obviously a 4-wheel scooter you don't quite have that same turning radius as you do with the 3. And even more so, the power chair, like I said, you can kind of swivel around. So it's all in assessing exactly what it is somebody needs for whatever their situation holds.
Okay, so you guys are in Kokomo. So do you have people from all over the state coming in, or?
Typically, we specialize in kind of what I'll consider central Indiana. We come kind of Indy north, because there's a lot of people in Indianapolis that are here to help them. Yeah. And I'm not here to step on their toes at all. I will.
But we don't like them.
Right. But I will help them out. But basically, from Indianapolis, we've had jobs as far up as South Bend, Indiana.
Have you? Okay.
So we'll go basically from Indy to the state line, and as far east and west as the state line as well.
So if somebody comes into you and they find out that you have, for the scooters, that may be their objective for coming in, but then they find out that you've got all these other services that you offer. Do you then go into people's homes and help them figure out how to make it that way?
Yes, what we'll do, especially you start talking bathrooms and ramps. Obviously, for a ramp, we have to go out.
Right.
And we have to measure everything. We have to take pictures. Obviously, ADA compliance is for every 1 degree of slope or 1 inch up your doorway is, you have to have a ramp that's 1 foot long.
Oh, really?
Okay, so let's say your door sits 6 inches up. ADA compliance, you have to have a 6-foot ramp.
Okay, gotcha.
Anything less than that's not ADA compliant.
Right.
So
and you probably have to build it by ADA, don't you?
We do. Otherwise, we are in trouble.
Right.
And we don't want that.
No.
So, no, we will go out and assess. The ramp will assess your bathroom. If you want us to come out and assess your home, to say, hey, I think I could be okay with a scooter because I like the fact that I can tear it down and then take it to the park with me as opposed to a power chair that's much heavier.
Right.
But could you come out and take a look? We'll do that for you.
Let me ask you another question because I know that, and I always get these two mixed up. So Medicare or Medicaid? Which one do you work with?
Medicaid.
Medicaid, okay, because that means they need aid. That's how I try to remember.
There you go.
But can you get a scooter and then that's it? That's all you can get from Medicaid? Or can you also get a scooter and a lift chair? Or
Typically,
how does that work?
How it works is there's a few different areas as far as in Medicaid. Now, typically what will happen is Medicaid on a lift chair, so the recliners that lift you up, basically what they will cover is the lifting mechanism, or the motor, which is what keeps it from being a recliner. Okay? So we'll just say, for easy math, that it's $300. Okay? And I have a lift chair sitting on my floor. For easy math, we'll say it's $600.
Okay.
So you'll know if Medicaid approves you, they will cover $300 of that. You have to pay for $300 of that.
That's how it works.
That's how it works. Now,
same with the scooter?
Same with the scooter. Now, scooter's a little bit different.
Okay.
Because they want a whole lot more information on that. Because typically, scooters cost more than lift chairs.
Okay.
Now, you can get a very high-end lift chair as well, obviously.
Right.
But obviously, they're only going to cover that motor. So it doesn't matter what the lift chair looks like because you're paying for it.
Right.
But basically, let's say of that $300, let's say you can't afford that. Well, that's when then you would go to the local area. 5, 6, 7, whatever area.
Oh, the Sequoia, the Central Indiana Council on Aging.
You're going to find out what area you're in, and you're going to contact them.
Right.
And then they're going to come out and they're going to talk to you, and they're going to make sure that you fit in that system of needing financial help.
Right.
And then obviously they're going to try to kick in and pay for the rest of it. So there's a lot of questions involved in this whole process when you start talking extra money. Basically.
There's always lots of questions. Give us a phone number, Aaron, that people could call for questions.
Area code 765, because we are in Kokomo.
Right.
43, that's don't call that one. That was almost my cell phone. 450-6825. 765.
Let's do that one more time.
Let's try this again. 765-450-6822 is our telephone number.
And the website is, I can't hardly see
www.m as in Mary, V as in Victor, 1ofkokomo.com. And we can get into the MV1 part of this probably in the next segment.
Well, I just think if anybody has any questions or thoughts or considering getting a scooter, you should give these guys a call.
And on our website, there's actually you can ask questions, and they will come to my email. So if you go to MV1 of Kokomo, and you have a question on a scooter, a lift chair, power chair, whatever,
they're going to end up with you. So Aaron's the guy you need to talk with. Hey, we have to wrap it up. This show goes so fast, doesn't it?
It does.
I want to remind people again, pick up the copy of Indy Boomer magazine at most Kroger and Marsh stores in Indy and the surrounding areas. The March issue will be out on March 3rd. Very excited. We've got Darnell Hillman, Georgia George McGinnis, Slick Leonard, Bobby Slick Leonard, and Bob Nedelecki is on the cover. Real excited about that.
Nice.
So it should be a great issue. Also, don't forget to watch us on Sunday mornings, Boomer TV with Patty Spittler at 10:30 on Sunday mornings on Wish on Channel 8. So we will see you all here next week, and thank you so much for watching today. Thanks for coming, Aaron.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.